A milestone in the opening of its space sector to private players as Hyderabad-based Skyroot Aerospace successfully carried 6 payloads, including 2 satellites, into low Earth orbit aboard Vikram-1, the country's first privately developed orbital launch vehicle. This proved the country's self-reliance push. Hyderabad-based Skyroot Aerospace has joined a small and elite group of global companies that have successfully developed and launched orbital rockets. The mission, called Agman, marks the arrival of India's private sector in the global launch business. Ahead of mission Agman, Skyroot Aerospace said its Vikram-1 rocket also carries the signatures of the engineers, technicians and team members who helped build it, honoring everyone behind India's landmark private space mission. Named after the father of India's space program, Vikram Sarabhai, the Vikram-1 vehicle represents the next step for Skyroot after the company's successful Vikram-S suborbital mission in November 2022. The launch also marks an important step in India's space sector reforms, under which private companies are now permitted to develop and operate orbital launch vehicles. Until now, satellite launches from Indian soil had been carried out exclusively by ISRO. The achievement places India amongst a select group of nations where private companies have independently demonstrated orbital launch capability, alongside the United States, China, and perhaps the biggest transformation in India's space ecosystem since the government opened the sector to private participation through sweeping policy reforms. Well, we're going to talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Dr. Srimati Kesan, Space Kit CEO. Mr. P.K. Ghosh, space scientist, also joins us on the program. Dr. Ravi Gupta, former DRDO director, is also with us on the program. And Chaitanya Sharma, ISRO Bharatiya Antariksha Hackathon 2025 winner. He's from Team Bug Trio, and he's also the co-founder of Cherry X Labs AI Automation, engineer at BLP Solutions. Thank you everyone for being a part of this conversation. It's a proud day for all of us. We also have Chaitanya Sharma joining us at this point in time. Chaitanya, if you're there with us, Chaitanya is ISRO Bharatiya Antariksha Hackathon 2025 winner. Well, Dr. K. Sivan, former ISRO chairman, is also with us on the phone line at this point in time. Dr. Sivan, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to speak to you, sir. What a great achievement for India it has been today. A very limited space club, and India has finally made it possible to show the world what it can achieve when it comes to its space frontier.
Yes, actually, this is a historic the space sector in India, and also this very interest this the startup they could make it. That is the very precise orbit. That is the thing not only in India, around the it's the best, I would say, this one. And definitely there is going to leverage to handle our future space country. Also, that is another one is by in my opinion, that is this will create a big inspiration and motivation for the other startups working in other areas. That is a big all these things are because of our Prime Minister's initiative in the space sector for the private industry. And we see that it's really giving fruit, which I was saying today by seeing the launch. This was.
Dr. Sivan, you're absolutely right that this is going to open doors for India's private space program. How much credit would you like to give to the government also, sir? Because they also opened up a lot of doors for the private sector to bloom in the space ecosystem.
Definitely, that system that people will be very eager to take because it's a very and success also will be very quickly. So in that way, this initiative by government is a wonderful initiative, and I could see that a lot of the people now involved in the satellite, the launch vehicle now today, and the complex technology. And so that is many places. Also, that I appreciate that very great done by startup group and based a lot of very, very advanced techniques they are used here very actively. That was a really very hard to tell that these young friends, they really done a fantastic job. This one. And it's going to be a lot of in the sort of ecosystem in the India.
Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you being here with us and sharing your thoughts. They're most valuable, sir. All right, let me also bring in Dr. Gupta into this conversation. Dr. Gupta, as I said, it's a proud day, a proud moment for all Indians. It's thrown open, an ecosystem, an industry, a reality as well as a dream, which definitely is going to put India on the map in a very, very different way. What does this day mean for you as somebody, who's seen the space program develop up close and personal?
Definitely, Vinit. Thank you for bringing me in. See, in my opinion, this is a very, very great day, historic day for every citizen in the country, particularly for people who are engaged in scientific research and development, and especially for the space-related industries in the country. The space industry in India has come of age with this particular event. We have just made a beginning. It's a beginning only, but I would like to see companies like Skyroot emerge as multinationals, because the arena of space research and development is very huge. The Skyroot, the scientists came out of ISRO, the government setup, since the day ISRO was set up in 1969. So far, it had the exclusive rights of taking up space-related missions. But with the change in the government policy, after all, my opinion always has been that the government's job is to govern and not to do business. So slowly, the government has to come out of the businesses and give the business to the industries and to the industrialists. So that is what has started happening. And once these scientists came out with dreams of reaching to the skies, beautiful name they have carved out, Skyroot, from roots to the sky. And this today's mission, they have taken a big leap, and जिसे कहते हैं ना कि आकाश मुट्ठी में कर लेना, तो वो आज हुआ है. और इसकी जो अगर हम डिटेल में जाएं इसकी इम्प्लीकेशंस की, तो आप देखिए कि इसमें जो पेलोड हैं बहुत सोच समझ के लिए गए हैं और इनकी बहुत बड़ी, it's a big implication of these things. Skyroot has emerged, number one, it has emerged as a comprehensive, complete industry, right from the design of engines to the rockets, to the launch facilities, monitoring of the launch, and the payloads. Everything it has done in-house. Besides taking up the business from other industries, Indian as well as outside. The German payload is also there. Of course, there are small total payload is in this particular case was 350 kg, but it hats off to their business acumen. They have demonstrated to the world that yes, they are capable of performing this business. Now, apart from that, come to specifically to the what they call as embrace. The embrace particular, the robotic arm, it has got very, very big implications. Apart from especially the Vikram-1 and 2 as such. As far as the rocket launch is concerned, you see, tomorrow the major wars are going to erupt in space. And every country, particularly countries like India, we have got huge, expensive assets which are required for war effort as well as for the civilian infrastructure, for running the economy. Any damage to those, it can hit us very badly. Now, this company will be providing a kind of a capability of what we call as launch on demand. Some assets are destroyed very soon. How soon the country can replace them, that will matter a lot. It is a strategic kind of a capability. Another capability is that the robotic arm. The declared aim is that, okay, collection of the debris. Now, what is the debris for this particular experiment? for this experiment by the Cosmoserve is connection, navigating to the particular object and connecting them and manipulating them. Now see the implications. Every satellite, let us say the lower satellite, costs something like 200 crores to about 1,000 crores. And a bigger satellite in the geostationary orbit, it may be costing something like 1,000 crores to maybe around 10,000. Now, once the fuel runs out, what happens? The entire thing is useless. It has to be thrown away, discarded. In case of geostationary, towards the outer space. In case of low Earth orbit, towards the Earth, so that it can burn down. Now, what can happen? With this capability, what will be demonstrated in this experiment, Embrace? You can go and refuel the satellite, you can manipulate, you can do research on that, you can replace it, maintenance work, everything can be done. This is a big business, it's going to emerge as a very big business. Secondly, another strategic capability. 27th March 2019, DRDO demonstrated anti-satellite weapons capability. It was a big deterrent to anybody daring to touch our space assets. Now, this will be another big asset capability. If a robotic arm can go to the space, navigate to a particular object and manipulate it, it can do the same thing with adversary satellites also. So that's why I would say that one single launch, and it has changed the shape of Indian space industry. We have come of age. I think the way forward is long way to go because the space frontiers are unlimited. So all the best to the team, and we all just wait and watch how fast they are emerging. Next year they are planning to go with the Vikram-2, another big step. So let us, my best wishes to the team and to all space industries, including this young boy like Chaitanya Sharma. So we have no turn. Country always had the capability. These kind of youngsters were always there. The change of policy, you asked the question that what is the government role? The major government role is providing the opportunity to these youngsters. We have no dearth of capabilities.
You're absolutely right, sir. And since you have spoken about Chaitanya, let me bring him into this conversation as well. Chaitanya, how are you feeling today? And how inspirational is this for you, what Skyroot has done?
Thank you for the warm introduction as well. I am feeling very grateful and proud as an Indian citizen, as a young citizen of India as well, because it is a very great achievement that Vikram-1 and the team of Skyroot Aerospace has achieved. As I mentioned as well, like you mentioned as well, like I won the ISRO, our team won the ISRO Bharatiya Antriksh Hackathon 2025 as well, in which we helped by using AI and machine learning and linking it with space technology. So this way it gives experience for us AI students as well to help in the space industries, the commercialized Indian space industry, to work together with this as well. And I believe like for the first time an Indian private company, it's finally launched a rocket into a space, and like it is a great opportunity, and it also gives start to us young students and young entrepreneurs as well to focus more on space industry as well, because of the AI boom, we only think about investing our time and all in AI boom. But right now, for the past 5 years, I am seeing because of in space as well. Since 2020, we are allowed the commercialization of space technologies as well. And I have worked with other companies as well. I have came in discussion other space companies that are private companies. So I believe in future as well, more youngster will start space related companies, and India's ecosystem will be more fruitful in the future as well. And this thus the achievement done by the Skyroot Aerospace gives us more motivation and like dedication to give our time on working on those kind of entrepreneurs and startups as well. Like that's what I believe, and it will happen for sure as well, even by youngster like me and even the younger generation that are still pursuing their higher studies or like in their classes as well. That will also help a lot. Yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Dr. Srimati Kesan, we spoke yesterday also, and we were hoping everything would go well. It went well, and that particular moment, those few seconds, changed the trajectory of the Indian private space ecosystem.
Absolutely. It is a jubileous moment. You know what? I would like to bring a small note when Rakesh Sharma went up into space. You know, I was a little girl in school, and we didn't even understand what was space. We ran up to our science teachers, and they themselves were, quizzical about how can a person go into space. We know aircrafts because there were hardly even one or two aircrafts from a city going to another city. So this is a spacecraft. I mean, how can this happen? So from there, today, we are talking about a private rocket. When we started, when we said we were going to put up a satellite, which was designed by students, people were quizzical. I mean, it's only ISRO that can do or NASA that can do. How can your children can do? But thanks to ISRO, I mean, we had lovely gems of directors who actually, in fact, I'm so grateful Dr. Shivan was here, and Dr. Shivan, Dr. Somnath, Kanugo, everybody, they sat down, on a table, and they helped my kids do the math. I mean, directors, we just thought that ISRO was a wall that cannot be broken and penetrated into. But it was totally wrong. They welcomed us, and with just paper and pencil, just like a school teacher, they handholded us when we launched our satellite Kalam Sat in PSLV C-44. That time, there were lots of children in the country who would write to me every day, I want to be a scientist in ISRO. Gone NASA. I was so proud that that shift has happened. It was such a massive change. From there, we have been talking that, we need the youth of the country to stay back here. We don't want the youth of the country to go elsewhere. Well, education, do agree, go, but come back because we need you. And that's what is happening today. I always felt that cricket matches are given so much of importance. Why aren't scientists being projected even at films? It may be radical the way I say, and it might sound stupid for some people because they say scientist means you need to be very profound, thoughtful, with big glasses like Amarpal or Dr. Gupta. Sorry, all with those spectacles and everything, and you don't have any moment to smile. No, we want to break all those things. So if you are going to showcase more scientists, on the television, have their interviews on a funny note in radios, only then children will understand that this is also an industry that they have to think about. Or rather, I would say this is the industry that needs to be thought about, because cricketers, or I mean, no, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be a controversy. I'm just taking cricket, but I was a national sportsman. So sports barring, I would say anything has a lifespan, but innovation has no lifespan. Innovation is the key, is the backbone of the economy of a country. So we need more scientists, we need more engineers who can be retained here within the country so that they bring glory to the country. They bring more economy, they bring more business. Now Skyroot is exhibited this. So now we need to bring more business from other countries. So the marketing strategies need to be worked out. How are we going to beat China? I'm being very vocal because the moment I travel to these 108 countries talking about our mission Shakti Sat, everybody were quizzical. Oh, can we do this in India? Oh, really? China is giving us free launches. They told this right in front of the DGs of space agencies. They said they come here, they teach us, and they give us free launch. And they are doing that kind of a business. And I'm sure our Honorable Prime Minister is also very, very strategic. And being a good businessman, he will start thinking about the strategies, how to bring in all these people. So we in the ecosystem, I think, should stand together and see how we can, bring all of this to our country. Technology on one side, business on another side. So it's very, very important to fuel our R&D so that we keep this going.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. Let me also bring in Mr. P.K. Ghosh. Mr. Ghosh, as you can see, everybody is excited. Everybody is, subscribing to a thought which only goes to show that this has infused tremendous amount of energy, not only as a sector or as an industry, but as an avenue for the youth, the Gen Z, to look forward to.
Absolutely. I'm equally excited and absolutely thrilled that we could take this step, which is in a way, of course, the initial preliminary steps. We do have a long way to go. And as Dr. Sumati also said, the enthusiasm of the younger minds. I'm reminded of what Dr. Chalna said today morning when our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, was giving him a congratulatory message over the phone. He said that, look, our mean age of the people working in Skyroot is 28. Now, if that is right, you can imagine what is the potential that we have. So, if the youth of our country is going to be as excited as Dr. Shumati said, I think we can safely say we are in safe hands and we are on the right track. Now, I will just dilate a little bit. If you had asked me about 10 years back, I would have said private companies were not welcome into the space sector. There was a drastic change, and that is important. No longer were we holding on. ISRO was not holding on to the technology. It was not something to be kept, but to be distributed. And that was something which was global. Now, everybody is quoting SpaceX. A lot of our satellites were recently launched by SpaceX. Why was that? Probably because we have to take a lot more steps. If we are going to have our space station very soon in 2030, I know it's been delayed slightly, we would require private launches like SpaceX with a payload of 20 to 30 tons. This is what Dr. Nair was saying today morning. And that is true. And I think we'll have to move on beyond the 350 kgs, beyond the 450 kilometers, and so on and so forth. Do you know that the ISRO had planned about 13 launches of satellites for this year? And we are already in July. So what is happening? We have just about one odd satellite which has gone on, or two or three. So we have a lot of ground to cover. If we are going to play with the big boys, we've got to run. And while this is an incredible step for us, but remember, if we've got to play with the big boys, firstly, we've got to retain. Dr. Srimati said, look, our engineers are probably going on to NASA. We've got to retain them. And there was a big issue about how many of the scientists were leaving ISRO and how the ministry reacted. I'm not getting into that debate. There will be changes. People will leave. I've got no doubt about it. But we've got to retain them. So ISRO has to keep looking at its core area. That is development of technology. And the private sector, encouraged by ISRO, handheld by ISRO, and then of course there's InSpace, there's NSIL, and so many others. I'm not going into their details. They would encourage these small startups. Now, Skyroot is not a small company. It's $1.1 billion worth of company. So we want more such unicorns to come up. We want the young entrepreneurs to come up. We want the young scientists like Chaitanya Sharma to come up and give us the results and move fast.
Right, sir.
I just end
I
by
also
saying-
want to get in a word from Mr. Amarpal Singh, scientist, who's joining us. Amarpal, we've run out of time. I want to know your thoughts. What went through your head? What kind of future and aspirations have you been able to salvage looking at this massive feat that was achieved by a private sector in the space ecosystem?
Absolutely. So first of all, I would like to congratulate to all the team of the Skyroot as well. They have done great as well for the sake of nation and for the sake of as well to the humanity, because it's a small step but big giant for the sake of humanity as well, as Armstrong said. So it's also going to be a milestone for the sake of industry of private industry, especially for the sake of rocket science as well. So I can say that it's a big leap. It has been rooted, the Skyroot, as the name PK Ghosh also said about the name as well, it's the Skyroot. So it's like the seed of the small seeds, which is going to be make the big trees of the space sector in the field of rocketry as well. So it's from the small initiative to $1 billion company. So many of the people nowadays, the youngsters also and academics, the people also and universities people also can learn a lot of things can be done with the assist of ISRO ISRO. Because without the assist of ISRO, it was not possible to do all these things, especially as we also know, very known as well. So it's a milestone for our India and for the sake of private sectors in the industry of rocketry or rocket science as well. I think so. So once again, congratulations to all the team of Skyroot, and especially congratulations going to our ISRO and all the panelists also who has showed their interest to explain about all these things in a very brief and long ways as well. So once again, congratulations to one and all.
All right, fair enough.
Vinit,
Well,
I just want to add here
sure,
for
ma'am.
what Dr. Ghosh mentioned. I said, yes, we do need ideas, technologies, and everything, but the root is we need to build academics. You know, we don't want our children to just go running for workshops and, you know, I'm sorry to use this term, but the people with money are able to send their children for these workshops and learn about space. So what we are fighting for is when there is so much of space happening here, give space to space books. You know, in the curriculum, you need to embed that in the curriculum right from grade 4. If we are able to integrate that in the education system, the out of the box thinking starts from as a child. That
All right.
will be nurtured, and when they grow up, I think cutting edge technologies
You're
just
absolutely right,
come
ma'am.
like
Unfortunately,
that.
we've run out of time, but we've had an amazing and invigorating discussion, I should say. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this historical moment. We'll take a short break. Be right back.